All right, welcome guys to the third episode of PJ Table Talk. I think this is the third episode.
It's third episode.
I feel like we filmed one episode and then it was the audio was messed up or something was messed up on it, and I just didn't put it together, and I just scrapped the whole idea. So
right, and now we're back.
Now we're back. So this is going to be a little bit different this time because we're going to be talking about things that are trending. It may be stuff that's happening in the news and social media, just different topics that's going on. But we may also talk about entrepreneurship. And
just whatever. This is just basically a whatever.
This is me and April talking like how we talk on the phone for 3 hours.
3 hours. We talk about a bunch of nothing.
Right. Yeah. So we're just going to get into it. We got a couple topics that we're going to kind of cover.
And I would like to say that this first topic, TJ got me so invested. I don't know why I'm so invested.
Well, it's because, okay, so let's just talk about it. So BLUEFACE, the biggest news today is Sunday, and some of the biggest news today is that BLUEFACE, he's been off of social media for a while. So BLUEFACE, if you don't know, BLUEFACE and CHRISEAN, they just had a baby, and BLUEFACE and CHRISEAN both are rappers and reality stars, I guess you can call them. And then BLUEFACE's other baby mama, which is Jaden, they've been together for years, like since they was kids, like since they was like teenagers or something like that, BLUEFACE and Jaden. And so CHRISEAN and BLUEFACE both are like addicted to being on social media. They are always tweeting. Like you can go down through BLUEFACE's timeline and he's tweeting like every 5 minutes about. It's like a conversation.
It's out of control. That is out of control.
Well, him and CHRISEAN have been silent for the last 5 or 6 days, which is crazy. Aberrant behavior.
It really is because I don't even follow either one of them, but for some reason CHRISEAN stuff always is on my feed. Like whether it's like directly from her or just from something she's done and somebody that got a screen grab or somebody that reposted some tweet or one of her lives or just anything. I probably could go on there right now and scroll and I'm pretty sure she'll be somewhere on there.
It's the craziest thing because I didn't even know anything about CHRISEAN. I just saw it one day on my feed and I started watching. I like watching trash reality shows. So she was on one of those shows, and it was just something about her that people just love. People resonate with her story and stuff like that. But when she had this baby, I think a lot of people really was wanting her to be broken away from BLUEFACE because BLUEFACE is not just, my opinion, he's not like the best person in the world.
No, he's like super toxic. Toxic. I can just, just based on the things that I see and from the tweets that he make and just like some of when he go live, some of the stuff that he does.
He just says he has no filter, and I there's certain people that I know that have no filter, and it's okay not to have a filter because, I'm a reserved person, so I'm not just going to say what's on my mind because I empathize with people and I don't want them to feel like bad.
Right.
But he doesn't care.
No, he like whatever. He just say whatever. And
he's kind of a little bit of a narcissist, if you will.
I don't know. And then his mom enables it. I don't even know what to say.
He's definitely his mother's child.
Yeah, I mean,
because she is
and she get on social media making things worse, and I'm like, who are these people? What is happening right now?
Well, so the breaking news today was they've been radio silence for 5 or 6 days. And so prior to the last month or so, BLUEFACE really has been riding for his baby mama, which is Jaden. He's been posting lives. He's been on just every story that he have is Jaden this, and he got 2 other kids. He's showing the kids, and I got a bunch of viral videos of him with his kid. We can talk about that on another episode. But today he posted, or CHRISEAN posted a picture of BLUEFACE with the baby and they're sleeping in the bed.
Yeah, I saw that.
So now everybody's mad because everybody been rooting for CHRISEAN.
Yeah.
And she went right back to BLUEFACE.
Yeah.
And not, just showing BLUEFACE with the baby, it's a good thing that he's meeting his baby. Yeah. I mean, everybody wants their kids to be with their parents.
Right.
But what made people mad was that she actually was in a music video with him, or they're making some kind of music video or something like that.
I kind of saw something about this.
And then she was acting like she was signing a contract for his record label, like she was signing on his record label. So now everybody's like, oh my God, what is she doing? Because she's supposed to be getting away from this guy because he's a narcissist, he's all this and all that, and she's going right back with him.
But I'm gonna just be honest with you, and this is just in general for people, just in general, not just her, but women tend to not see that stuff.
Right.
Like, especially when they are with with someone that's like that. Like, everybody around them can see it, but they literally are so in love that they just can't see it. Like, and even if they do see it and they do recognize it, they just like afraid to break away for whatever reason. You know, and it could be because the person is like tearing them down, or like they just like don't see any self-worth. Like, they feel like they can't do any better. Like, you just really never know what's going on behind those relationships.
Yeah.
So I feel like, in her defense, it's probably all she know.
Yeah, and you know the crazy thing is I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
I think that one of my nieces have that little thing going.
I see it personally. I can like literally see it in person.
It's and it's just kind of one of those things where I feel like it's a phase that they have to go through.
Yeah.
And I think that CHRISEAN right now, she's seeing a lot of like monetary, she's making a lot of money from this whole relationship, this whole situation.
It's hard to step away.
Right. Because
like,
that's your income. That's literally your income.
Like, to go from like making all of this money and like having all of this attention and doing, and like you said, if they like really are into social media and like love the attention, if you take a step back, like, what's your attention going to be like now?
Right.
Are you going to be making that same kind of money? And those things they probably look at like, well, I don't really know if I want to like not make that money.
Yeah. And the thing about now versus like maybe 10, 15 years ago, like, I don't remember when the first reality show was. Was the first reality show Flavor Love? Or was it like The Bachelor?
No.
Which one was it?
The one on MTV.
Jersey Shore.
No. The Real. What was it called? The Real. The one
that, The Real World.
The Real World.
Real World. Okay.
That was the first one.
This whole social media thing kind of kicked off, and reality shows and all this kind of stuff. So people don't actually have to have quote unquote talent.
No, you can just
to make money, to be millionaires, to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars just for appearance.
You can like literally create your persona, because it's a lot of those people that's probably not even like that in real life, but it's just a caricature that they done came up with. Yeah, because they know it's gonna go viral. Yeah. So instead of me being myself, I'm gonna be misogynistic, or I'm gonna be racial, or I'm gonna be
just saying whatever you gotta say, or do whatever you gotta do to get those clicks and those views.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, the money makes you do crazy things. I will say, because I do post videos online. Some of them are like not necessarily clickbait, but I know that they're going to get clicks. I know that they're going to start a conversation, and you make that money, and then you start you get obsessed with the money, with making the money.
You making $3,000-$4,000 a month by posting stuff. Yeah. Like, you like, like, why would I like not post it? Like, why would I not post it if I know that I'm gonna be making? And you can try to post wholesome stuff. That stuff will never go anywhere. No. So you could post some good wholesome, uplifting, kumbaya type stuff, and it just
it ain't gonna get the push and the play that something that is seemingly controversial. Yeah. Now, things happen, people post stuff online all the time, and it's not necessarily that it's something that's bad. It's just something that starts a conversation, something that it just triggers something in people, or people, somebody's going to have an opinion about it. Right. There's certain things you post online that people aren't going to necessarily have an opinion about it. They may like it, they might dislike it, but they don't have an opinion about it. But it's just that social media thing is just so that just the actual word of going viral, it's like an infection. You know what I mean? It's like,
I can't. I hope, especially if you never go viral and then you all of a sudden go viral, then you want those views, you want those those comments, that especially if you somebody who don't get a lot of attention outside of social media. Yeah. I can see how that can be, that can affect you. Yeah. And make you want to be like seen by, because you have your audience and they see you, they like you, they comment, they talk to you like each other, and then like in reality you could be at home living miserably. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about the persona. It's all about what people see on social media and what people resonate with. And like we try to be as authentic as possible. We post the good stuff and the bad stuff, but everybody doesn't post that. A lot of people just post the most pristine, perfect situation, most pristine scenery.
Because if you had seen our store the other day, TJ posted.
I posted. I don't care because I mean,
it looked like tornado went through there and just knocked everything out. And then my husband told me I was a bad sister because I let him go over there and clean it up by itself.
You know, this is a give and take, brother sisterhood. Because there's times when I've been out of pocket, April and having to take care of stuff. Yeah, and it's just we just kind of jump in and take it.
I mean, you have to be done.
It was kind of crazy, but
yeah.
So the next topic we want to talk about was the Jeezy and his wife.
Oh yeah,
or Jeezy filed for divorce. Is that what happened?
Yeah. So I saw that. Day for yesterday? I saw that. I saw that he had filed for divorce, and my immediate reaction was, I knew that wasn't gonna last. And I'm gonna tell you, it's because of what his wife said on The View, like well before they even got married. Which I was shocked that after he heard what she said that he still like pursued her. But I'll let you look because I know I hadn't
seen the video.
I don't think you looked at it.
I downloaded it, but I didn't look at it yet. So I'm gonna look at it and see what she said. Why would she even say that?
Tamar.
I really do think black men are attractive. I do. Like, that's my...
What do you mean, dark meat on the side? That means, honey. You know what that means.
Look at the head moving. Tamar's killing me with her facial and her hair movements because she's just like
she got crazy. Like the same literal reaction that I would have had. She would have been getting the side eye like this.
Like, girl, I'm trying to figure out what you mean. Like, what you talking about?
Like, and when she say, "Well, what did you mean?" She's like, "Whatever." Like, what she say? How did you say it?
Hold on, let's go. Keep going. You know what? That's so funny. Oh, I dated an Asian man once. Yeah. It's like literally like saying, "Oh, my best friend is black." You know, so we're
right.
I don't understand that.
I don't either. And like, so when she said that, like, I took it exactly how Tamar took it.
Yeah,
I took it as I like, which whatever people have preferences. Yeah. I don't care what your preference is, but she insinuated that she like. Who she's gonna take home to her parents is a white man.
Yep.
And she would never be caught dead taking a black man to her parents.
Yeah.
And if she did, I mean, that's just somebody that she can sleep with or do whatever with.
Right.
But it's not gonna ever be anything more than that.
Right.
And that's how I took it, and I was surprised.
Yeah, I mean, especially like I think on the View, they have a lot of controversial what I would consider like controversial. Topics
like
and
conversations
and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm not going to fault her for saying what she said because she meant it.
Yeah, she obviously she meant it.
She meant what she said. So like,
she said it with her whole chest.
She did. So, she said it with full voice. She meant what she said. She thought about that statement that she made because it's not something that you would just randomly pop up and come up and say. She thought about that and have said that before multiple times. So that's truly what she means. So you know, it's just kind of like if it were me, and like I said earlier in the show. I understand how certain things that I say make people feel. So I probably wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I would say it a different way.
I probably wouldn't have said it either, but I feel like she said it the way she meant it. And that's how, you know, most probably black women took it. I don't know about anybody else. I can only speak for like me as a black woman.
Yeah.
That's how I took it.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you like that. And like she liked what she liked, which is fine. But like that's why when they got a divorce, when he said he was filed for divorce, it just didn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you have that thought process already, you probably always had that thought process.
Yeah, you ain't gonna change it.
You don't change it no matter how, you know, much you think you're gonna change a man. I mean, no one's gonna change. Like not a man, woman, whatever. Nobody in a relationship is gonna change if they don't want to change.
Right. Or it's going to ruin the relationship. You trying to change.
Yeah.
You trying to be somebody different than what you know, what you really are.
Yeah.
You know, that's like one thing that will end a marriage pretty quick. So they was married for 2 years. I didn't realize Jesus was married till I heard this, to be honest with you.
Yeah. See, and I knew they got married because it was like such an uproar. I remember when they announced it or whatever, and it was like, wow, he married her after she said this.
Right.
And so everybody was like, I can't believe it. And then I was like, well, you know, whatever.
You love who you love. And I don't know I didn't go into details of what the reason for the divorce was, but I mean,
Right.
I'm sure it'll come out because all these celebrities.
Yeah, it always does. Even if it doesn't come out, people gonna speculate
Right.
what they think, and like whether she's like that or not.
You can't take that back what you said on recording.
You can't take it back. So
Yeah.
like people perceive her as being one way, whether she's like that or not. So
Yeah.
the speculation is that she probably is like that.
Yeah.
And it can be a catalyst to end a marriage.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. My dogs. I have a new cat. If anybody follows me on social media, y'all seen my new cat. My dog literally thinks that he's a cat. Like he runs around and thinks that he's like a 50-pound dog, and he's trying to like squeeze in the areas where the cat gets because it's like a kitten. And it's stressing me out. Oh, so what do you think about the Halle Berry?
Oh, Halle Berry.
I can never
And
say
Drake.
like Halle Bailey or Halle Berry.
I was trying to read about. Okay, so I saw the picture, like he's using like her slime picture from Nickelodeon, as like the promo pic for his new single, whatever it's called. What is it called? Slime.
It's called Slime. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Slime.
I never heard the song. I don't know what the context of the song is.
Me either. I don't know what the context is either. But like, how you just gonna use another person's image for your stuff without getting clearance from them?
So I thought that was my initial thought because April sent this to me yesterday, and I had already had internal dialogue because you know how you have an internal dialogue. About something. I was at Target, and so immediately that was my first thought. Like Halle Berry has worked over the years, how many years she's been in the game to create her image. So she wants to have full control over what her image is and all that kind of stuff. And then I started thinking about it. So I went and looked at the picture. I wanted to see what the context was. So all he did was he posted a picture on this page. There was no context. There was no words. There was no nothing.
Right.
It wasn't promoting anything.
Okay.
You associated the slime because that is the new single with the picture. But it didn't say anything like, go check out my new.
Right.
It wasn't using it as a promo. He literally just posted the picture. So it's no different than me posting the same picture on my Instagram.
Right.
With no context of what it means.
I know. But you're not. But listen, you're not Drake.
I'm not Drake. So
you're not Drake.
And Halle Berry is Halle Berry.
Right.
So that's the whole different thing.
So I think that's probably the main thing because like we all know that he got a song called Slime.
Right. And like I said, I don't know what the context. I'm assuming that the context is probably not in alignment with her.
Like with her image, with her image.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can see how you could be frustrated about that because like how hard is it to like get permission to use my image for something? Like just thinking about like even like Cardi B and Offset, like they had Jamie Lee Curtis. They had her in one of his little videos.
Right.
And all the stuff that they be doing, I mean, they cleared it. I mean, obviously it's a check and she went and did it, but like you went about it the right way to get her in your video to get whatever you needed to do. So like it's a way to go about things. Yeah. And I think that if you just need her as an image, just run it past her.
But like like you said, especially in the industries, music, movies, film, stuff like that, you have to clear those things just because you're using somebody else's image and that image costs. There's the cost to that image. You can't just go out and just throw somebody's image on a T-shirt and sell it. I mean, you can, but
you probably get sued.
Yeah, you probably you are liable for to get sued by the person. So I think that's the difference is that she's a celebrity. She's a big celebrity. He's a big celebrity, and then he was promoting something that he's going to make money from. I think that's the big thing. You know what I mean?
I think that I would agree with that.
And then the idea that he had the opportunity to reach out and ask, and he did not, because I feel like they worked together before. I don't know if I can't remember if they've ever worked together before on anything. But she said that I read a quote and she was like, I expected better.
Yeah, I mean,
of him. You know
how
what I mean?
hard is it to have your people call my people,
right?
And we can come up with whatever the solution, like whether you have to pay me to use my image or just whatever. I mean, just go through the right channels. It's not hard. Like. People do it all the time.
Well, it's funny too. Like I listen to J. Cole. I don't know if you listen. Do you listen to J. Cole? So J. Cole is one of the artists I listen to, and he talked about how hard it is to clear things. Like people just do not want to clear. And that, I mean, I guess, you know, if you made the art and you've created something, which of course that was just a photo. So it's not like creating a whole movie or creating a whole video or sound or something like that. But he said it's so difficult to get sounds and people's voices and stuff clear for music, you know, especially he's like, you know, you created the art. I'm trying to, you know, I want to utilize that art with my art and create something new. Yeah. But everybody doesn't want to do that. You know, he said it's so difficult to get people to clear music and clear sounds and stuff like that. So
I can believe it.
Yeah.
But if you still gotta do it. You still gotta do it. Like, you know how hard it is for us to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you still just have to go through the process. Like, you hate it and you think it's stupid.
No.
But I mean, prime example, the stuff that we're talking about with Facebook.
Oh yeah.
I hate it. I hate the process. But I still gotta do it. Right. Like, if I want the stuff to work, you just gotta go through the channels to get, you know, to get stuff done.
Yeah. So what we're talking about Facebook is I got multiple Facebook pages and April's got multiple Facebook pages. So I was trying to figure out there's no way to really get in touch with Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, you probably know this if you're a creator on Facebook. And I signed up for like the verification program just to try it out and see it, because one of the perks is that you can have access to
chat.
Yeah, a chat. Yeah. You can actually talk to somebody, allegedly talk to somebody.
Right.
And
it's all alleged.
Yeah. Well, April's going to try to sign up for it, and you have to change your name to whatever your name is. So if my name is Anthony Lovelady, I have to put on there what's on my ID as my username. The funny thing is that nobody knows me by Anthony Lovelady. So if I change it to Anthony Lovelady, they're going to be like, who is this person on my timeline?
Exactly. Because
I don't go by I go by TJ.
Yeah.
So April was trying to sign up for it. And the biggest thing is, I don't understand with Facebook why they don't have support for creators, especially because creators account for the majority of their income.
Right.
And in terms of content.
a lot of creators, I don't know, like even not creators, well, they are probably, I mean, you can count them as creators because they're businesses, but a lot of businesses are creators because, you know, that's the only way to promote their business or whatever. So they have to make posts, they have to make reels, they have to do, and a lot of times they run ads. So like if I'm giving you my ad dollars, which, you know, can be, you know, whatever you're spending on your ads, and you're taking my money, I should be able to get in touch with you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's like bare minimum.
I should be able to get in touch with you. If there's an issue, like prime example, I had somebody hack into my ad account. They blocked it and I couldn't see my ads. They were running, but they did something to them where I couldn't see them. And I literally couldn't talk to nobody.
Yeah.
Like, I had to send them a support ticket and send them a thing. And, you know, they got it taken care of fairly. But, like, it would be nice to be able to talk to somebody because, like, I'm paying you X amount of dollars to run my ads. And if you got my card number and you getting my dollars, I think the very least you should be able to do is I should be able to talk to somebody who understands what's going on behind the scenes and not just a figurehead. I don't want to talk to somebody who can look at the same thing that I can look at. That's stupid.
Well, I think that's one of the hardest parts of being a creator. And that happens not only on Facebook, it happens on every platform that we create on. So YouTube, Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these places have set up these atmospheres or these ecosystems to where creators are making videos and they're making all this content, and they encourage you to make this content. They want more creators and they want people to be more creative, but it's like they withhold the funds that you are owed.
Yeah.
And they don't have any support. Like, you can't, like, if I'm being owed $1,000 from somebody and there's a problem with my account, I need to be able to speak with somebody to get that resolved. And a lot of these places, none of them have an actual person that you can go and talk to. Now, YouTube, they just changed where now you can actually go in and do like a chat and talk to them.
Okay.
So if you have a problem with your account, I don't know if everybody has that option. I do it on both of our accounts. We have creator support there. But Instagram, there's zero creator support. Facebook, there's no creator support unless you have the verification, which you have to pay for. It's like $16 a month. TikTok, they have a support system.
It's not really
feedback. I don't know what you want to call it.
Because I was sending them tickets every day about and it's still terrible. So I don't even post on my TikTok anymore.
Yeah, and I think we're in an era right now where it's a lot of content creators, and you know, it really started with YouTube. So when YouTube first started allowing people to make content back in 2008, 9, somewhere around there, people was making content, but nobody was really making money until they made the ad program.
Yeah.
But then all these people start making all this money.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they thought about how fast that was going to grow, how many other platforms was going to be created off of that, and how people need that support. Like, I need to be able to speak with somebody, and they don't have to provide that customer support. It's just apparently because they haven't done it for years.
No, and they don't.
Over a decade.
No, and what's even more funny, it just talking about just creating and then like the support and just them being communicative, like them not communicating with you or whatever. Like you can create a page or a YouTube or TikTok, just any of them really, and you can create something and you can post something that they don't necessarily deem as a content violation, but it still kind of goes against like whatever their moral compass is. Yeah. So then they slow down your views and stuff, and like they won't tell you. They just happens. They don't put a notification on none of your platforms. They don't say, hey, well this post that you posted is kind of it's kind of touch and go or whatever. Yeah. They just don't do it. I feel like it would just be easier to say, hey, that post you posted, it's not against the content violation or whatever, but we frown upon it, so you might want to take that down. Like, it seemed like that would just be easier than just stopping the people who's creating content, like, from creating content, because like that's just ain't gonna do nothing but make a person discouraged. Like, if you go from getting X amount of views, comments, engagement, whatever, you go from thousands to 200, and you're going to be like, side eye.
Yeah, so let me read you this. This is from the Facebook website. So it says, if you post content that Facebook or their independent fact checkers rates as false or altered or is partly false, they will move that post down to the lower portion of the news feed on Facebook. And also your other content, it'll also move to the lowest point. And it says, so if you repeatedly post content rated false, altered, and that's not just false and altered, that's anything that they deem is not accurate or something that doesn't align with
whatever their
moral
compass is.
It says that we will take several action that will last a subsequent 90 days. So that means they can, shadow bans, what people call it, but what they call is they move it lower in the feed for 90 days. But if you do it again, they can do it for additional 90 days on top of the other 90 days. So now you're talking about 180 days of your content being low, but you don't have any notification of it. Like, they don't even tell you.
They just do it.
That it's lower. And it says that if you continue to post this, we'll move your post even lower on the feed, on the page, and on the website. So it's kind of a weird place that we're in with social media, because you can post whatever you want to,
but you can't.
But you may get sanctioned for it.
Yeah, and they won't tell you.
And there's no notification of it. It's not like they won't post and say, "Hey, you violated the content."
Yeah,
whatever.
And it's not really violating the content policy, because it's like, if I post something that said, like you said, they feel like a hashtag explore page is kind of like a spammy type hashtag. So like, let's say I put that on my hashtag and they say, oh, this is spam, and they just move you down, and it could not be spam. It could just be like, I want my stuff to be on the explore page. I mean, how?
Like, what if I was an explorer? What if my name was Explorer?
Seriously.
Like, I mean, I feel like sometimes there's no context for what you post or why you post whatever you post. Yeah. And like, I shared a picture one time on my page, and this is on my main page that I make extra money from. And it was just a funny post. And I put on there, people post a lot of memes. So I post memes too, just like everybody else. And this one was an AI generated photo of somebody that looked like somebody else. Yeah. So obviously it was a AI picture. Everybody knew it was an AI picture. I even put in the title and in the body of the description, like, this is a fake picture. This is a joke, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. And it still violated that piece of content and said that was verified false by multiple people, the independent fact checkers. And if I didn't remove it, then there was going to be additional things taken against my account. So I, of course, deleted it. But it's just kind of like, it was a joke. Everybody posts
Yeah.
jokes. Everybody posts memes and stuff like that, and it wasn't offensive or anything like that. But that's just the day and age we're in. And if you are on Facebook or if you're on any kind of social media, just know that if you're not seeing what you want to see, that probably is the problem.
Yeah, you probably got to post a reel or something on there, a hashtag that they don't like. So I know TJ said he went on and he erased every single reel on one of his when his did it.
Yeah, I erased everything from my. I said, y'all ain't taking my money.
So we just gonna start. We just gonna start over.
Fresh.
We're gonna start over, and we'll see where we go from here.
What April was telling me about this, and I didn't really hear the story about Deion Sanders. What was going on with him?
Oh yeah, so Deion. So I don't know how many of you guys follow sports, but Deion Sanders is now the head coach for Colorado. And he came from an HBCU. He was a head coach over there. And then they hired him there, I think this is his first year. And he brought his son as quarterback and one of his other kids that I think he raised. Anyway, he brought them and a bunch of other black recruits over there. Well, anyway, the people aren't happy about it. They don't like it because he's very I don't know how to describe him because he's really.
He's Deion Sanders, so he can do.
Yeah, pretty much.
He can run the program how he wants to run it. You know what I mean?
He's always been how he is, kind of flashy. He wear gold chains. He wear shades, glasses. He always dresses really nicely. He's always been like that. Because I follow sports, and even from when he was on other sports shows. He's always been like that. So he bring that same energy over to Colorado. So the coach that they were playing, they played last night. And they played Colorado State. And the coach from there made this statement. When I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat off. I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me. So it's kind of like a slight at how he's speaking to the media after games. He keep his sunglasses on, his hat on, his shades on. He got his gold chains on or whatever, but they're winning. His team is winning. The boys that play for him, they all respect him, and they are going out and playing for him. And I think that people are just upset that they're actually doing so well. So let me tell you this, their team, they've already won more games than they won last year. So they won 3 games. Last year they only won 1. The highest selling ticket last year was $100. This year it was up to $500 or $600.
Really?
Yes. And then so yesterday, because yesterday was the game, it was like a spectacle, TJ. The who's who of who was at this game last night. The Rock was there. Lil Wayne was there. Offset was there. I saw Kawhi Leonard there. Chauncey Billups was there. It was so many famous people there. So he's brought so much positivity and just highlight to that school that they didn't have it. And I don't think that the other coaches. I think a lot of the other coaches are kind of intimidated by it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not a big sports guy, if y'all didn't know that. But what I do take away from this story is that sometimes people are so offended by how somebody else presents themselves, and just because you was raised a certain type of way, or just because you did a certain thing in your house, doesn't mean that everybody else has to do that thing. So now a lot of kids, you see kids with hoodies on all the time. Maybe 150 degrees outside.
1,000 degrees.
They got their hoodies on, and they had their sunglasses. They had their the over the ear headphones on. They had their AirPods in. And they're not being disrespectful. That's just now how people are nowadays. Yeah. A lot of technology. People. That's just how people's personas are. So you can't, just because back in the day,
right,
it was a certain way. It's just not. We're not back in the day. We're in 2023 now. So it's it is how it is now. You know what I mean?
And my thing is he's always been like that. Right. This is not new. This is not he's present himself as this new person. No, if you go back and pull up old videos of him in
Sports Illustrated.
No. In interviews. If you go back and pull up old interviews of him and pictures of him or photos of him, it's the same
The same person.
It's the same person. That's just like me. If you see me, I'm like, literally, I've been how I am. So if you came at me and was like, yeah, she always like, she never talked to me, like, or she don't say, just whatever your opinion is of me. Like, if you come and say that about me, and I've been like that for 40 years,
right?
Like, I've just been like, I've always been like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I don't know. I just didn't like that quote because I was thinking, it just made me mad. Like, he said it about me, and it wasn't even me.
Well, it's the idea that some people just think that they can say whatever they want to say, and whatever they say is right, and that's not necessarily always the case. People aren't always right, and you can't just judge somebody because based on their appearance, and that's just how they are. I mean, just somebody wearing sunglasses or having on chains or whatever it is, that's just their persona.
Yeah,
and just that doesn't mean any disrespect to you because they don't present themselves to you the way that you feel like they need to be presented presenting themselves to you. Like, that's very selfish of you to think that somebody needs to change themselves to talk to you. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. Me either. Like, I mean, it doesn't take any away from his knowledge of the game.
Right.
And it doesn't just, I mean, he's still smart. So, like, just because he's sitting up at a podium with the microphone with a hat and shades on his head does not mean that he's like unintelligent.
Right. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I took away from it, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't me. But if somebody said that about me or you or one of my kids or my husband or anything like that, I would be mad.
Oh yeah. Well, it's so like I said, I post a lot of these videos online about CHRISEAN, and so she had posted the other day that she had dedicated the baby. Like, she went and basically, like, not really baptized him, but dedicated him to the church.
Right.
And so this is one thing I hate about the church. We've been in church our whole lives. We grew up in church and stuff like that. But church folk, get on my nerves.
Mine too.
So this lady posted on my page. She was like, "Hey, it's great that she's dedicating the baby because the baby needs to be dedicated. Blah 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 blah. But she shouldn't have wore that dress. That dress is totally inappropriate. And it was literally it was a dress.
Yeah.
Like, it was a strapless dress. There was nothing wrong with it. It wasn't inappropriate. She wasn't. People think, oh, she's showing skin. I mean, she literally was showing her shoulders. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a shoulder. Like, who cares?
Right.
Who cares? I mean, I don't understand. Like, who cares about what somebody's wearing in church? Like,
I've never understood that.
But we've seen it. When we grew up in church.
Like, you wore, if you was a girl, you wore a dress, stockings, and shoes, like dress shoes. And if you was a man, you wore a suit, tie, and a dress shirt. That's what you wore. If you came in there with anything other than that, everybody's gonna be looking at you like you crazy.
They will, and that's the crazy thing is because it's supposed to be come as you are. Like,
and they'll be talking about you too. They'll be like,
you see what Amber got on?
Yeah, you see what she. They make you not even want to
it makes people not want to go. It makes people not. I remember times where we didn't go because we didn't feel like we looked appropriate.
Yeah, we don't have clothes, so you just don't go.
Yeah, and so now, like, the church that I grew up in it's got a different pastor, and he's very like he's like, just come as you are. I mean, people is in there with whatever they. Yeah,
they come in jeans and there's still some older people who still feel like you shouldn't go to You shouldn't go to it.
Yeah, you shouldn't go to the house of the Lord with
jeans on.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, where does that come from?
Listen, and I feel like that's just like an older thing, because like this don't have anything to do with church. But yesterday, somebody said they was going to a wedding, and somebody asked them what they was wearing, and she said, I was thinking about wearing jeans or something like that, and it's like, jeans to a wedding? Yeah. So, yeah.
It's just people have, it's just clothing is clothing. Like, who cares about what you have on? I mean, as long as you're walking out butt naked.
Unless, especially like in a wedding setting, like unless the bride and the groom have said, hey, this is formal, just if you're going to come. And most times they'll tell you, hey, this is formal dress, however. But like if it's, like me, my wedding, I didn't care what you came, just as long as you came. Yeah, I was just happy that you came. But I know everybody's not like me.
Yeah, they think about the pictures. Yeah. They think about how it's going to look. Yeah, and, all those types of things.
I wasn't a bridezilla, but I think in this certain circumstance, I think that the bride is very similar to me. She didn't care.
Right. It just come comfortable.
Yeah.
I want you to be comfortable. So just come how.
Yeah. She just wanted them to show up.
Right.
That was basically it.
Well, it's just, I see comments like that and I just get so frustrated with. It's not the church. It's just the church.
No,
folk.
it's just the
church
people.
folk.
It's just the people, and I think it really has something to do with the
age.
With the age too.
Yeah.
I think it has something to do with the age, and just how I grew up and how, like you said, times are different. So sometimes
you gotta change with the times.
Sometimes how you grew up is wasn't right.
Right.
And sometimes I think people hate to recognize that sometimes the things that we did.
Yeah, when we was growing up,
that it was not really correct.
Right.
So, and it's not to say that you shouldn't dress nice, because I absolutely believe that you should dress nice if you can.
If you can, right.
But if you can't, I'm not gonna make you feel terrible because you cannot come and you're happy. You can go to Goodwill, you can go buy your dress for $2 and put on something. I mean, but
everybody wearing dresses.
Yeah. My oldest daughter, for example, she is not gonna wear a dress. She ain't gonna put on no heels.
No,
but she'll look nice.
Oh yeah.
She'll dress up and she'll look nice, but she just is not gonna be in a dress and heels. I can tell you that.
I don't like dressing up. And I work in a professional setting sometimes. My job sometimes requires me to wear. I don't like wearing belts. I don't like wearing a belt. I don't like wearing.
No, because TJ got in trouble that one time.
I didn't have a belt. I do not like wearing belts. I don't like wearing belts. I don't like tucking my shirt in. I don't like being uncomfortable. And I feel like when you got your shirt tucked in, you got a belt on, you are uncomfortable.
Right.
Unless you were 100 pounds.
Right.
You're probably not uncomfortable then. But me, I got blubber. And my blubber don't like the belt. So I don't like wearing belts, but I'm not walking around. And I hate when people say this.
Yeah.
Is when I don't have a belt on, they're assuming that I'm slouching or I'm busting the sag. You know, people. I'm not busting the. I actually had a person stop me in the store, and it took me. I'm talking about within an inch of my soul not to cuss this man out.
I probably would have.
He looked at me. We was at Walmart or somewhere. He was like, "Hey man, you need to pull your pants up." And I looked at him like, "Don't tell me, I'm a grown man. You don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me to pull my pants up." I can see if I'm walking down and my pants is down around my ankle, but it's not like that.
I know. Yeah.
I don't wear a belt.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm reaching up for something. You can see my underwear. Something, something like that. Why are you looking at me that hard where you can see my underwear?
I probably would have cussed him out. TJ, you better than me, because I would have cussed. I would have turned around and told him, "Mother."
I did not, because I didn't want to be I didn't want to be that guy, angry guy.
I would have been that. I would have been that person.
But me, I'm thinking in my head, this man talking to me, and it was a black man.
Yeah.
It was a black guy that said it to me. He probably was thinking, he's looking out for me or something like that. I'm like, dude, I make more money than you. I know for a fact I make more money than you. So I work in a professional setting. I go to work every single day. I pay all my taxes. I pay a lot more taxes than a lot of people. For you to be telling me that I need to pull my pants up like I'm a low-class citizen or I'm somebody lesser than you.
Yeah, when I know my pants are not falling off my behind. I'm not
sagging.
Yeah.
I don't like people sag. I don't like when I see people sagging. Even when I'm talking about sagging.
Your pants, it's all
you can see the whole underwear.
Yeah.
And they got on long underwear. Yeah. You can see all the way down to the skin.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's you almost doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
It's a look.
Yeah.
And understand. But I will never correct anybody and tell them, hey, you need to stop busting and say you need to pull your pants up. I'm not nobody daddy. I ain't tell nobody to pull no pants up and do all that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that either. I don't want to see it. But if I see it and I don't want to see it, I just go the other way. I'm not gonna look at it. I'm not gonna stop you. It's how people be getting shot. Not minding their own business.
Yep.
See, and I'm not about to jump in your business. You stay out of my business, I stay out. But I probably would have cussed dude out. I know I would have.
Yeah. So down to our last topic, which is one that I really like.
It's so controversial.
It's so controversial for absolutely no reason at all.
It's not.
So it's the use of AI. People are so aggravated with people using AI. They feel like it's going to take their jobs. They feel like it's going to, it's stealing their work. I mean,
all kinds of stuff.
I don't get it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know that, but I write, and so I use AI. Not to write my stories, but I use it as a tool like you use any other tool to to do stuff. So like you can write, like I can write a passage right now about me and TJ sitting right here doing this podcast. I can write it in my voice. I can say, tell the story of how I'm doing it. And I can stick that whole passage into AI and say, hey, can you fix the grammatical errors? And it'll go through and it'll fix everything. I mean, it's equivalent to like putting it in Word and me hitting, but it's so much faster. Yeah. I don't have to do anything. I just say, please fix the grammatical errors. Then I can say, hey, can you check for fluency? So it'll check it for fluency. And if it's somewhat places in it that's kind of seem choppy, it'll say, hey, this is kind of choppy. It'll be better worded if it's like this. And then it'll output something. And then you can go through and fix it to where it, works for you. I mean, but that's not even all it can do. Like you can do Facebook posts.
I use it every day.
Yeah,
I use it as it's not that I don't have my own brain.
Yeah, I
just use it as an extension of my brain.
Right, because you literally have to tell. It's not a robot. It doesn't come up with the concepts.
It's not self-aware.
Yeah, you have to input something in there for it to like give you an output. Like you can't. It doesn't just think. It doesn't think for you. You have to do it. But anyway, it's like such a huge controversy, like especially in the writing community, because they're so afraid that it's stealing somebody's work or is gonna take somebody's job, or like they even say, some people say like, well, if you use AI, you're not a real writer, like you're not a real author or real whatever, because you don't come up with your own concepts or whatever. But here's the thing, in my opinion, AI is the future. And it's very similar to like when the internet came out, people probably was terrified of the internet. When Word came out, people probably was terrified, from the typewriters to the computers. It's so many things that have come out in our age that people were so afraid of when it first came out. Yeah, but if you just got to use it as an extension. I don't know if you've ever seen the Hidden Figures. Have you ever seen Hidden Figures?
I love it. I just watched a reaction. I like watching reaction videos. I was watching one the other day.
So you remember when the computer got there and she was like, somebody's going to have to know how to use this computer. I think that we all need to learn how to use this computer, because this is going to be the future. Like, even though it can do all of the stuff that they hired all these folks, these mathematicians, the computer's going, but somebody still has to run it.
And somebody still got to run it.
Yeah, somebody still has to run it. So we need to learn how to do it. And that was smart on her part. And she went and she learned that computer and she learned how to input the information in it that it needed, to come up with the figures that they needed, to go to space or whatever. And I think AI is going to be very similar. I think that people are going to have to use it to the best of their ability to like, it's like working smarter, not harder. Yeah. Like,
you just got to figure out how you can utilize it in your business. So like I use it a lot of times, to make posts, but I also use it for art. Some of our thumbnails are like on YouTube. I've been incorporating AI photos into it because you can literally tell it to make a background of whatever scenario that you want, and it will make it. It will make it in the style that I want it. It'll be in the colors that I want. I can go through and I can tell it. You don't have to use prompts. It's not just going to do it. I can't just think it automatically happens. I have to put in prompts and say, hey, I want this, and this, and it will output. What I'm asking for. So I think that people just need to learn how to utilize it.
Yeah.
And help them make better content, better stuff, faster, being more efficient.
Right. Because I fear, like, especially like I think in like the writing world, I think what's gonna happen is, here's what I think as far as like why people are, like, I think like copy editors and like editors and just like people who do that, they're afraid that I'm not gonna pay you $1,500 to edit my work when I could put it through like a program like ChatGPT, and it can do it. Here's the thing though, it's still a computer. Like, it doesn't have a brain. It doesn't. So the thoughts are gonna be limited to the thoughts of like a computer system.
Right.
So like, even if I did tell it to write me a story, it's gonna write a story, but it's not gonna be as good of a story if I actually wrote the story.
Yeah.
So if I write the story and I put it in and ask it to make it better as far as like grammar and like structure and like things that you might pay an editor to do, you might ask the AI to do. I think that they're upset because they don't want their jobs to be taken away, which I don't think that it ever. I think that editors should use it as
They should use it as a tool. It's a tool. That's what it is, a tool.
Yeah, as a tool to make their, editing system better or whatever. But I feel like they don't, it's gonna take a while.
It'll take a while. It's just going through that phase. I'm sure all these different things, these technologies have gone through that same phase, and I think it'll eventually at some point people will embrace it more, and it'll be like the norm.
Yeah,
you'll be using stuff like I use it sometimes, and people don't even realize sometimes I use it. I'll run our video through it, and it'll AI voice. So it actually will take our voice. It'll analyze how we speak. We're Southern, so we have a dialect. We have a Southern dialect, and it will actually spit out a computer generated voice that sounds like our voice.
Yeah.
Based on the words that they hear us say, which is crazy to me that you can do that. But you can. It's so many different things that you can use AI for. And a lot of people just don't realize how to utilize it in their daily routines to make their lives easier. That's what it's about. It's about utilizing the tool to make your life easier.
Yeah. And like for me, like I said, I use it like for editing. I use it for like you can have conversations with it. Like, if you brainstorming something, like even not for writing, but just like for YouTube. Let's say you want to come up with a content for YouTube. You say, hey, help me come up with some ideas. This is what I like. This is what I like doing. This is probably what I'm going to be using. This is probably going to be the setting. And it's going to give you some ideas, and then you can just tweak it to fit you, but I think where the problem is a lot of people feel like, well, it's got that content from somebody else. So you stealing that content from somebody else and you going to make that content yours and somebody else already did it.
Most ideas that anybody has already been thought about by somebody.
Yeah. It's
maybe a spin off of somebody else's idea, but there's very few like very fresh ideas like nobody's ever thought about it before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that happened 40, 50 years ago. People came up with all these different ideas.
Yeah. Why do you think that we get the same movie every 3 or 4? Yeah. I mean it's the same. It's a different
spin.
It's a different spin. It's a different name, but it's literally the same. It's like the same movie.
Yeah, it's just the original ideas I feel like are behind us. Yeah. People are reusing people's ideas, but they're giving a fresh take. Different perspectives based on like people's experiences. They're going to have different takes on how things should look or how things should sound, and so those new original ideas aren't even real new and original. Everybody uses inspiration from somebody to make something else. So it's no different than that.
No. And then and I like read a lot. Like I read books pretty much, I read something every day. And I can tell you that I've probably read the same book. I mean, it's different authors and whatever, but the story is still the same.
Right.
Like the story is still the same. It's different names and they do different things in the book, but like the overall undertone of the book is the same.
Right. Yeah.
The undertone of the book is all, and I've enjoyed books that have been similar by different authors before and didn't think nothing. I didn't think, they stole this from. I didn't think that. I just thought, well, that was good. That was a good take on whatever they thought. Because they probably both had the same thought. I mean, it's possible for two people to have the same.
Yeah, in the vastness of the multiverse.
Yeah, like it's
two people can have the same thought about something, and they didn't know that they had the same thought about the same thing.
Right.
It's just,
but their story is still going to be different to a little bit, a certain extent, you know. And I don't know. I like AI, and I hate that it's getting such a bad rap, and that people just literally don't want to take a chance on it, thinking that it's like stealing or like, and it really can help you. Like it can, like, even if you don't use it for all of that stuff, like you can find a way to use it in like whatever your professional life is. Yeah. Even personal. Yeah. Even
personal. Like, I seen people use it for school, and I know the schools like banned the use of it just because me and April both went to college and we had to write a lot of papers, so, I mean, I get it. Sometimes you go through and you're writing a paper, and a lot of times, maybe writing papers is outdated. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah.
So when I had to write a 1,200 word paper, who comes up with 1,200 words? How do you know a 1,200 word paper is going to be? I can write a 500 word paper that doesn't have all the extra crap in there.
Yeah.
Because you add You add
It's
that
fluff.
fluff. It's
It's
fluff in
fluff.
there just to
Yeah.
get to 1,200 words, and I'm not adding anything additionally to the paper.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a word count that they came up with that you have to make. So yeah, of course, if you use AI for that, that's going to make it easier to get to that 500 words
get
or
that
that
fluff.
1,200 words
Yeah,
or
it's
whatever.
gonna get that fluff. You tell it whatever. I mean, but then again, like I just said, you gotta give it, like you have to give it that information. It's not gonna, like, let's say you're writing a paper on Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Well, you can't just go in and say Martin Luther King.
Right.
It's not gonna, like, you got to tell it like what you need.
Yeah, but the crazy thing about, like, if you're writing a paper about Martin Luther King, the history of Martin Luther King is the history of Martin Luther King. That history is happened.
Yeah.
So what can I come up with that's different from what the reality is,
right,
to make this paper versus me typing it into ChatGPT and say, hey, I need a 1,200 word paper about the life of Martin Luther King and what he did, blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever the prompts is that you put in there, and it spits out a 1,200 word paper. It's gonna take you 5 minutes to do that versus you taking a couple days to write a paper. But it's the same. It's the literal same information.
Yeah,
because that history that happened.
Yeah, and I think that they just want to make sure that you understand the content.
Yeah,
understand. You know, so like they want to make sure you understand the life history of Martin Luther King. Which, okay, so I totally get that.
Yeah.
But maybe we should go about it a different way, because like I've learned that like writing is not everybody's strength.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes it's better to like maybe a verb, like doing a PowerPoint presentation, which those suck too, by the way. I hated those.
Yeah. Or it could be creative. Like when I went through, my teacher, they let me make a like a movie, like a short film, because I like filming. I like doing film stuff. Yeah. So you can write a paper, you can make a PowerPoint presentation, or you can make like a video. And I chose to make like a video, and everybody loved it because that's what I'm passionate about. So it's easier for me to write a 1,200 word paper on this topic that we was talking about. It was so much better for me and fulfilling for me to create a video project of that same thing. That's what I'm saying. It may be better to rethink how we, how we do schoolwork, maybe,
Right.
Right.
And a lot of times, like, and I get why you need to learn how to write, because I feel like they are, okay. I feel like maybe in a lot of professional settings, you will have to do some kind of writing. Yeah. Whether it's like memos or emails or just whatever. So you need to know writing structure. Yeah. But let's be honest. Even when I'm like now, if I decided I want to put something in Chat GPT and say, hey, I need this email about something, you think that the upper people are going to be like, let me see if she ran this through Chat GPT.
They ain't gonna care.
They don't care as long as they get the information. That is all that they care about.
Yeah. And you're going to read. So a person, a responsible AI is going to go through and read it and tweak it to be what it needs to be to send to somebody. Yeah. They're not just going to run it through and then send it in. You're going to read it and make sure you may have to change a couple sentences, whatever.
And it's going to match your voice, your tone. It's going to match whatever scenario you need. And the person who's receiving it is not going to care where it came from. No. Only the schools care about that stuff. Right. But like, that's what I'm getting at. Like, even as an adult, and like, they don't care. Like, all they care about is that they got the information. That is organized well, and there's no misspellings, and I can understand from A to Z. Is not all the emails, not all over the place. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's the future. I don't have a problem with it. I utilize it for a lot of stuff. Yep.
I don't use it at work because it's banned at work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't use it at work, but I don't have any reason to use it at work. But I do use it for like Facebook posts, and to create Facebook posts, and maybe TJ can post some of the stuff that it comes up with, so you can see. Yeah,
put it on the screen. So that's going to be all our topics today. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with April and I for an hour. We've been on for about an hour. So look forward to the next podcast. We're going to be talking about just
random stuff. It's going to be random. I think we're going to try to get Elle on here next week.
Yeah. We're going to have some special guests on. So if you have anybody that you would like us to talk to, just put it down in the comments below. We're going to post it to YouTube. It'll probably be on the podcast platforms like Apple and Spotify and all those different places too. And we love you guys and see y'all on the next one.
Bye.
Peace.